Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Beer 30 Sanity session from Percha Dam State Park, New Mexico. Beautiful here today. It's about 70 degrees, perfectly clear, no wind. Yeah, a good place to be today. And here's to you, here's to me. Should we ever disagree, here's to me and thee. Skol, brothers. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good, 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 good. Anyway, skulls, cheers, prost, and all that stuff. Relax, regain your sanity. There's a weekend coming up. Actually, it's, yeah, coming up soon. It's getting a little later in the afternoon here, and beer tastes pretty good. But, you know, I really didn't think of anything super to enlighten you about today, but, you know, I catch myself occasionally making hasty generalizations. You know, I'll see a young person in the grocery store or Walmart or wherever, and I'll say, my God, their generation's gone to hell, man. You know, got earrings and tattoos and all that stuff. They're just doing their thing. And then I thought, well, you know, smart guy, what was it like when you were growing up? What were the older folks saying then about thee? You know what I mean? Me and others like me. And, you know, you got to know that in the, you know, my prime years were in the 50s or in the 60s, you know, in that range, because I was born in 1945. That was the year before the dinosaurs went extinct. So I got to see the dinosaurs. But it seems like the youth always want to make a statement by doing something with their hair, okay? You know, and girls, I mean, boys and girls, they're both guilty, okay? And, or not guilty, it's the way it is. And, you know, because when I was, God, I want to know, I would say 10 years old, I mean, GIs were in, you know, just completely almost bald-headed, you know, they call it a GI. You know, what was the easiest haircut a barber had to do? Just zip, 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 you know, like being in the military. But yeah, it was a GI, and it seems like I may not get these in the correct order, but yeah, it was that, and then it went to flat tops. You know, the flat top. You know what I mean? Of course, I had a one-eyed barber. You know, he was kin to me, and you know, a bird had flown into his eye, and he was blind in one eye, but he was a barber. So my flat top kind of tilted a little bit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It wasn't exactly perfectly flat, you know, but yeah, it was okay. I mean, but that's what was in was flat tops, man, and this is of course for guys, and then the guys got into DuckTales. I mean, that was the thing. Let it grow long on the sides and get some of that old greasy stuff and put it in your hair and you know, kind of push it on back there. And yeah, DuckTales, that's what it was called. It was greasier as shit. I want to say Four Roses. Was that stuff we used? But it, yeah, shit. And you also used it on your flat top because that would make your hair stick straight up, and that was your goal to do that. You know, some guys had hair that it worked perfectly. You know, my hair, you know, naturally it didn't do great, but I was definitely trying to fit in. And then along with the ducktail stuff, you know, growing it long on the side and then pushing it back, there was a thing with a curl, you know, and let it grow in the front right here. You know, everything here was short and let it grow right here, and then you could curl it and make a tail that came down. You know what I mean? Just a curl that hung down here in the front. Oh man, some of my buddies had, you know, they had it down. You know, I mean, I never had one of those because I just didn't. I never did. But you know, and today, you know, kids still do stuff with their hair. You know, now they color it, you know, like one side may be blue and one side red, or their whole hair be orange or whatever. And we're going, oh my God, how could they do that? And if you think back, guys, we did some strange stuff too. And then, you know, after that, you know, then we got into of course, the 60s, you know, that was the kind of the old hippie movement, all the young guys kind of grew their hair long, you know, and stuff. And yeah, that was the thing, you know, because I think the Beatles kicked that off on the Ed Sullivan show. You know, they had the longer hair, you know, the long hair look, and then that kind of caught hold, you know, because monkey see, monkey do. You know, that's how they got women to smoke, was showing actresses and stuff smoking. And that's, you know, of course, men, they hooked them in the military, because in World War II, the C rations, the food that the GIs ate, came pre-packaged, and in the package, you know, it had 4 cigarettes in a little package, and you know, that was the thing. We even had those years later. But anyway, but as far as the girls, I remember some of their fads, but you know, for hair, I can't really get into that too much. But they did have ponytails were in, I think, for a while, and then what else? You know, then there was a page boy thing, and I'm sure you ladies will get that all straightened out for me, because I don't know that, I can't remember that much about it. But yeah, let me see. Did I make a note? Yeah, but that's all the hair styles I could think of. I'm sure there were hundreds, because women are more into hair than men. You know, one of the things that women get, you know, men go get a haircut. You know, women go get permanents. Well, they're called permanents, but they are the last thing to be permanent. You know what I mean? Because they'd usually get one either once a week or once every 2 weeks. And if they were permanent, you would only get one, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? But anyway, but they call it a permanent. You know, it takes a while to get one, and they're not cheap, okay? And what else? Now, here's something the girls got into as far as clothing fashions when I was a kid, and I was all for them. One of them was, of course, pedal pushers. You know, that was kind of like just below the knee type pants for girls. They called them pedal pushers. You know, I guess because they'd stay out of the way of the bike chain or something. I don't know. And yeah, and the one they got into later, you know, I don't know what year it was. They got into short shorts, and that was, in fact, there was a song about it. Dada, short shorts, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, I'm for that. Shit, yeah. I mean, yo. You know, the old hymns kept coming up. You know what I mean? You know, in mini skirts. Yeah, I was into that. Shit, yeah, girls, just keep going up. You know, go, go, go. You know, and yeah, it was. You know, things were so. You know, what we considered X-rated in the late 50s would be rated G today, times 10. You know, there was a movie with Bridget Bardot, and I can't remember the name of it, but you know, she was what you would call a heavy-breasted woman, and yeah, but I went to see it. You weren't supposed to go see it unless you were over 16 or 18 or something. But hell, they never checked anybody in Kennedy, Texas. Crap, you know. But they were called B movies, I think. And yeah, I went to see that. It was called something. I can't remember the name. Like I may think of it in a minute. But yeah, you know, Bridget Bardot, and the scene. We kept waiting for the scene. You know, the part. You know, the nasty part. You know, gross kids we were. You know, the girls went too. You know, it wasn't. You know, it was okay. But anyway, yeah, that was crazy. But you know, the movies were so tame, and the only way you got any porn stuff was some backstreet dude would have a little picture book or something, or maybe some French postcards or something. But that was it. But those were the trends back then. But as far as, you know, piercing our skin or putting something in our lip or our nose, our ears, you know, the guys or whatever, you know, that would, and tattooing, nobody did that. There was a few guys that had been in the Navy that had a couple of tattoos, but as far as it being a fad, you know, it wasn't. We never had anybody doing that in Kennedy, Texas. But yeah, you remember that. So, you know, and our parents back then, or the older folks, you know, they thought we were all crazy. You know, my God, you know, they get a kid with DuckTales. If you had DuckTales, you were kind of considered trashy. You know what I mean? And yeah, and if you had long hair, you know, I mean, long hair in the '60s was, if it touched your collar, oh, that was, oh man, that was. You know, my daddy would come by and he'd flip my hair like that, you know, and he never did say anything because I was on my own, you know, pretty much then. And so he couldn't really say much other than just irritate the crap out of me, which he did. And they had bell-bottom pants for guys. I had some that, I mean, you talk about bell-bottom, I mean, you know, you could get them off easy if you fell overboard. I mean, on a ship, that's why they wore them. But anyway, but what else did we do? Oh, and something else. Now, this came later on. I'm sure some of you guys might have been involved in this. But first of all, we went through the phase of music. You had, in the 60s, early 60s, they came out, or maybe it was late 50s. I think it was early 60s. They came out with 8-track tapes. You put them in the cars, and you had little speakers and stuff about this big around. They weren't that loud, but they were louder than the radio. That's all we cared about. It went from 4-track, 8-track. I don't think there was ever like a 16-track. I don't remember that one. And then, like CDs and all that stuff. I didn't have CDs. We went through 4-track, 8-track. Oh, and then cassettes. That was it, cassettes. Yeah, that was the music method in the 60s in my career for a long time there. And then, of course, later on got CDs and all that stuff. Yeah, the marketing people moved us right on through. We just kept buying new equipment, new equipment. It was like a carrot in front of a donkey, you know what I mean? You just kept trying to get the latest thing, and you did, Of course, there were no cell phones, so we didn't have to worry about all that crap. And, as far as another craze that went poop, poop like this was the CB radio craze, I had a CB radio, but I got smart. The one I ordered was portable. It had a magnetic antenna. You didn't have to wire it in the car. You could just set it somewhere and put the antenna outside, and also you could use it as like a base station in your home. You just hooked it up to a little battery, 12-volt battery, on the table or somewhere, and you could use the CB radio in the house. And everything. What's your 20? I remember that. What's your 20? I mean, it was kind of like the beginning of the cell phone. We didn't have anything to say, but we wanted to talk to somebody. We had to irritate the crap out of truckers who were trying to, gather some useful information as they're driving down the highway, and they come into these little towns, and there's 100 little kids, 14 to 25 years old, that got CB radios and interfering with their stuff. And of course, then you get into figuring out, some of these things were really powerful and stuff. They go miles and stuff. And there was a rule. I think it was like 4 watts was legal, and over that was illegal and stuff. But people didn't pay much attention to that. So we all went through our insanity period, and now we've gotten back to sanity. Boy, my mouth is sure dry. Here's to you. Here's to me, guys. Skål. Cheers. Muy bueno. But guys, whenever you see a young person at male or female in a mall, don't be too critical. Because I promise you, I mean, and as far as making noise, like kids now have speakers that'll vibrate your windows for 4 miles. We never had any of that. I think that's a little overkill. And, to have a 10,000 watt stereo in a car, you know what I mean? But we did the best they could. If they'd have had them back then, I'm sure I'd have been trying to get one or would have had one. But no, I can remember opening the doors on my Mustang. I had a 65 or 64 and a half Ford Mustang. It was the 2-door hardtop thing. It was one of the first ones that came out. And but yeah, they put 2 speakers in each door. They were about this big around. I'm not sure, they were probably 20 watts, little bitty things. But what I would do is whenever I put on Johnny Rivers music, do you remember him? Yeah, Johnny Rivers. I'd open the doors, turn it up real loud at the Dairy Queen. Well, actually, it was called the Creamy, but it was our Dairy Queen thing, our hangout. And you'd pull up on the side and crank your music up, and yeah, it was cool. It was the thing to do, so to speak. Yeah, or ride around town with your windows rolled down and the music as loud as it would go. And every now and then the 4-track and even 8-track, they would skip or they would start dragging. We're now online. You know what I mean? It was just crap, They were just, it was crap. Anyway, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Those were good times, and I hope all of y'all have good times as as you were growing up. I hope you did, because it was a great, simple period to grow up in. We didn't realize it at the time, and the kids don't realize it now. They think their life is as simple today as it was in the 1950s and 60s. Of course, we think it's more complicated because we don't understand the things they do now. We don't do chat rooms. We don't do Meta, or we don't do YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook, Twitter and all that stuff. We didn't have any of that, so you didn't have to worry about getting thumbs down or not liked or whatever. We didn't have any of that. If you weren't liked, you knew it right away. When you went in a room and 5 minutes later it was vacant. That's how you got your thumbs down. Or nobody ever called you, or nobody ever wanted to be around you. That'll pretty well do it. But anyway, having said that, guys, enjoy your weekend, enjoy life the best you can, and remember some of the good old things you used to do. And for some of you guys that had DuckTales, that old greasy shit, you couldn't wash it out with gasoline, and and girls, short shorts. I mean, some of the girls, really had short shorts. In fact, in schools, and when the mini skirts started taking hold, they had a rule. It had to be so many it couldn't be so many inches above the knee. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of girls that really stretch that rule. But be that as it may, yeah, that's some good memories. And I'm getting fired up now. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go out and never mind. Enough said. But anyway, guys, from Percha Dam State Park, New Mexico, on a beautiful day. I'm fixing to finish this and get me another beer and go out and take me a little walk in this beautiful sunshine. And I hope you're enjoying your day, your weekend. But thumbs up, guys. Retain your sanity. That's the key. You relax, chill out, think about the good old days if there were any. And and some of the old cars that you rebuilt, and some of the girls you dated, and all the stuff. And you girls think about how crazy the guys were. They were all hands, weren't they? Little hands were everywhere, right? Anyway, enough said. Thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want. Use the Amazon link. Drink plenty of water. Stretch, walk. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Maintain your sanity. Put in good ingredients. Try to find something positive. Watch the Fonz on, what was the name of that series on TV? The Fonz and somebody, I can't remember the name of it. They hung out at this soda deal. Well, the Fonz was kind of the guy with the comb. Well, I knew guys in high school that they carried a comb, boy. Kept that hair looking good. But anyway, guys, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk again in the morning. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.